We are live. What's good? It's just Jules, Lady DJ, Gems from Willie Brown, A Train. We are live on the Skinnosphere podcast, episode 2, with none other than Life Talk with Rainey in the building. Rainey, what's going on?
What's up, beautiful people?
Definitely, man. Come on in and hit the like button. Rainey, what's going on? Let me kill this back drop right here.
Good to see y'all.
So y'all don't hear nothing, and hold on a minute. Bam! There we
Well,
have it.
damn.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, the Skinnosphere episode 2 podcast with none other than the beautiful Life Talk with Rainey. Give it up with Life Talk with Rainey. Drop a skinny naughty bomb for Life Talk with Rainey.
What's up?
So Rainey, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing absolutely wonderful.
For those people that don't know you, tell them your name and where they can find you at.
Well, you can find me right here on YouTube under Life Talk with Rainey. Rainey Hottest Topics. We'll stick to that. The other channels, I'll fill you all in on those too later.
Life
Later
Talk
on
with Rainey.
when I build them
Rainey's
up.
hottest topics on YouTube. Real Vibes with Rainey on YouTube.
Yes, what's up?
Instagram, Life Talk with Rainey.
Life Talk with Rainey on Instagram. But I'm more active on Life Talk with Rainey and Rainey Hottest Topics. So,
Okay.
but how are you doing today, Mr. Skinny?
I'm doing very fine. Thank you for
Okay,
asking.
that's good. That's good. And congratulations on the Hellcat Don.
Yes. The rebranding. Shout
Yes.
out to that. And the sign and change. Let me see if I
Oh,
can get that. Nah, but y'all get the gist of it. Yeah, the sign and change. Yeah, we doing big things over here for the rest of 2023 going
yeah.
into the
Good to see
summer.
that.
We're going to have it hot over here for the summer and going into 2024.
Mm-hmm.
But Rainy, so you're originally from St. Louis,
I am. Mm-hmm.
and you travel.
Well, now, do you mean originally, as in where I was born?
Well, take us to where you was born then, and how you got to St. Louis.
Okay, so I'm actually a Cali girl. So I was born in
Shout out to
California.
Cali.
Shout out to Cali. So yeah, I was born in California, and then my mother, she went back to her origin, which is in St. Louis, and she raised me there. So
Shout out to St. Louis, Missouri. So basically, that was your
salute.
upbringing from a child all the way up to graduating.
Yeah, you could say that. In and out of St. Louis.
So tell me a little bit about St. Louis, like how it influenced you coming up,
Mm.
the atmosphere, all that good stuff. Especially was you brought up in a pretty urban neighborhood, or was you brought up in the hood, or was you brought up in around like a mixed gender neighborhood? Tell me about that.
Well, yeah, well, my mother, she definitely always kept her a pretty decent job. You know what I'm saying? Definitely an above minimum wage salary, so we were able to live in middle class, you know, and she kept us in an environment where it was pretty mixed, white and black, a sprinkle of Africans, maybe a sprinkle of Asians, but pretty much white and black, middle class. So I wasn't raised in the hood, but the hood, wasn't too far away. So
You wasn't raised in the hood, but you could daggone reach out and touch it if you need to.
I could reach out and touch it. Yeah,
So
yeah.
coming up in St. Louis, was your father around?
No, my father was still in California.
Okay, so coming up in St. Louis as a single female,
Mm-hmm.
with your mom. You pretty much, had to find your way basically, as far as, coming to the
Definitely.
young adulthood and things of that nature. Tell us about I understand that you adopted your sister
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, pretty
at a
much.
young age.
I got full guardianship of her when I turned 21. So,
Turned
um,
21.
yeah, it was that was a long road of just
And how old was your little sister at the time?
8 years younger than me. So you can do the math on that shit.
Yeah, yeah. 15.
But yeah, 8 year. Yep, because she was whoo, those stages. When you a teen around that age, that little rebellious stage. And I'm big sister slash mama, so my younger sister, she really wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, I'm going with my 21-year-old sister. My sister getting full guardianship of me. I can go run rampant and kick it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, 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 no,
Pretty much she
no.
thought like, oh shit, my best friend gonna be watching me.
Yeah, and I was like, no, we can't do that because I'm responsible for you. So you still have rules to follow. I still need you to get up and go to school. I still need you to respect the household and you know and basically just be mindful that I have a responsibility. Even though I'm big sis, I still have a responsibility that's bigger than us being sisters, which is making sure you know you straight and I take care of you.
Let's talk about let's talk about responsibility. 21, you basically still a child yourself.
Yeah, that's how people see it. 21 is not being really mature to really go out into the world and do everything on your own. But I was doing it.
That's what I'm saying. You was forced to become a woman at a young age because if you a guardian, you are doing. It's no more like you a kid now. You in charge of
Hmm.
somebody. Like
Yeah.
you got bills to pay. You got to make
Hmm.
sure they get to school. You got to make
Hmm.
sure all of this stuff. All the while, do you feel like you at 21 with that type of responsibility that it kind of put you in a role where you felt like your 20s is like the years where you go out, you can make mistakes, you go out,
Hmm.
find yourself and stuff like that. Do you feel like it forced you to grow up expeditiously faster?
Most definitely. And just to kind of backtrack, I don't really feel like I was forced to do it. I had a heart for it. You know what I mean? Because I could have easily just been like, shit. But because of my deep love for my family and me always wanting to make sure that my mother could be proud of me, because I know how my mama raised me, and it wasn't necessarily her fault that she fell sick and went through what she went through. So I still wanted to make sure that my mother knew I had her back. You know what I mean? So I wasn't forced to do it, but I definitely had a heart to do it. And it was little room for mistake because, when you get custody of any child, they're going to make sure they check your full background. You know what I mean? You better not have no a criminal record. Your house better be in order. You better be able to make enough money to substantiate everything. You got to have a clean house, food. You have to have references. You got to be on your P's and Q's. So even at 21, they didn't cut me no slack. It was still, you got to make them court dates. You got you know what I'm saying? You got to meet these people. They got to come to your house and make sure that you are the right fit for this minor.
So let me ask you this: 21, you got all these here, you got these responsibilities placed
And
upon you.
children of my own.
Okay, children of your own. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
get to that. So at 21, you have you have one child of your own. Then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
you got one child, basically two. You got your sister.
Well, I had just had my second one, so I had two.
Okay,
I had two kids,
you had
a
two
daughter and a
children.
son.
You had a
Mm-hmm.
daughter and a son, and you had
My sister.
your sister. This
Mm-hmm.
here is at 21, and you taking care of your mom because she done got sick. So I guess
For the most part, yep.
you gotta look in after her too. So you got all this here on your plate at 21. So at that point, Were you with any of their fathers, or it's just you?
I was with my son's father, my youngest one.
Okay, you was with your son's father at that
Mm-hmm.
point. So at that point, at 21, you got your sister.
Mm-hmm.
You got a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You got a son by this guy who you with.
Mm-hmm.
So about time he comes along and your son, you've already had the responsibility of, your daughter. You went
Mm-hmm.
through a breakup with her father, so you already was a single mother with a
Right.
daughter, and then you get your sister around the time that you're getting your son.
Yeah, he was a new baby. Yeah.
So what was his role as far as the son's daddy, like in the black household at that time? Like was he at that point? Because at that point, I basically take it that y'all both was young.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
so like
So I'm 21, he's 24 at the time.
okay, so what was his role? Was he as serious as you? Was like
No.
was he on the trip like, shoot, boy,
Mm-mm.
shoot, I got to put my big boy pants on because my significant other, she doing this, so it's forcing me. Or
I wish.
speak on that.
Yeah, I wish he was I wish that his mind was in that place, but at the time, I just don't think he understood how extreme those responsibilities were and how seriously I took them. So because I was so hands on with my family, he's a young man. He still want to kick it with his friends. He want to hang out. He knew he had to get up and go to work because we had rent and bills. But it was pretty much one of those things where, well, Rainey can handle it. I'll go out, work. When I get paid, I'll just give her my portion and she'll take care of everything. You know what I mean? So it was pretty much me trying to help him see the load that I had and wondering like when he was going to take lead. So I was pretty much waiting for him to to see where he was needed and then take lead, but that never came. Because it's like at 24 years old, first of all, I can't tell you how to be a man. I'm not even going to try to. Um, but I'm definitely going to let you know that this is hard for me to do all by myself. So if you need to see the need of the support and then step in those shoes as a man, but I can't tell you how to do that. I just have to wait to see if you're capable of doing that. And after so long, once I see that you're not capable of doing it, nor are you willing to try or step up to the plate, then it's like deuces.
Do you think that this is the question? I don't know if you know the answer to it or not, but do you think that he was caught up in how can I say it? 24. Do you think he was caught up in shoot? I'm just gonna live my life, and however it handle it like. Because I
Oh
heard
yeah.
you just say he basically was like, oh, I can go out and hang with my friends. Rainey got it.
Mm-hmm.
Like taking advantage of your response. How responsible you was. Like, oh, I can just
Mm-hmm.
go out and hang out in the street where I know my kids is gonna be taken care of. I
Yeah.
know like Rainey's gonna hold down the house, or this and that.
Mm-hmm.
So, did that put like a damper on you when it came to uh, your black counterparts, your like black male counterparts? Did that put like a damper on you? Like, yo, are all these here black men out here gonna be like this?
It didn't. Because you know what, when it comes to me, like I do take responsibility for my part in every situation that doesn't work out the way I want it to work out. So in that relationship with him, I realized that I had just chose wrong. So I took the responsibility of knowing I fucked up. You know what I mean? Like he's just not the one, and that's unfortunate that I have to walk away from this. So I didn't that didn't put, I didn't see black men in a negative light. I didn't become bitter because I knew that I was the one who wanted to make that relationship work so bad. And I didn't even really know what it was that I liked about him so much. We were young. We had known each other for years. You know what I'm saying? So we had met each other really young, like at 15. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those
Oh, it was
things.
like a like just growing up thing, like a school
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, yeah. So, did it like? I ain't gonna say like it made you see black men in a different light, but did your guard like become like that much more harder to break? Because now it's like you done went through this with him, so now you got your son, you
Hmm.
got your daughter, you got your sister, and now you single.
Hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? Did it make you look at it like, I'm doing this here by myself anyway, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm good. Or did it make you still be like, oh well, if that right man comes along, you know what I mean? Like I'll give it another try.
Yeah, I've always been like that. I've always been like, if that right man comes along, but at that time, you are so the point that you made as far as my guards being up, my guards after that situation, my guards were up, and I never let my guards down because I have girls.
Yeah.
And my mother was a very discreet woman. Like, I didn't see her with men. I can remember 3 boyfriends. Like, if my mother had company, a guy over, I wouldn't know it until maybe the next day I would overhear her on the phone. Like, girl, so and so came over last night, and I'm nosy. Like, what? My mom had company. So I wouldn't see no man over there, but I would hear her on the phone with her friends. So my mother was really discreet, and that's just how she raised me. She didn't let men around us. We didn't wake up to niggas in the house, or you know, um, none of that. So I was just like that anyway because I didn't grow up that way. But my guards were definitely up because I didn't just want any old random men around my children and my sister, being 15, 16. And so I just had to make sure that I put them first.
So you raised your sister. Like I'm visualizing your sister now as more like, like your daughter, because that's the approach that you're taking. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, I'm doing whatever needs to be done for your best interest and to make you the best young woman that, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, like I can guide you to be. So,
Hmm.
all right, you had your sister, uh, you had your daughter, you had your son, you have another daughter.
Yep.
How far after that did like you meet her father?
Um, After what? The
After the relationship didn't work out with your son's father.
Oh, like 3 years.
Okay, so by that time, your sister's she's at the age where she's about to make decisions now whether she's gonna
Yeah.
go off to college or she's gonna go do her own thing or whatever.
Hmm.
So now it's you now your daughter becomes the priority and your
Pretty much.
son. And
Hmm.
now you got another daughter. You got
Hmm.
her dad. Was he a responsible black man in the relationship when it came to? Because at that time you older now. Now you're like 24.
Right.
And I don't know how old the gentleman was, but now
A little
you
older.
okay, you've experienced your daughter's dad, your son's father. Okay, now this here is the third. How was his
Hmm.
approach as far as like being a male in the household, being the leader of the household? Was was he doing what he was supposed to do in your eyes? How did it go? I'll let you explain it.
Well, I want to say yes, but there was a problem. So he was all about spending time with kids, um, being active and involved with children, and you know, speaking encouraging things to them, showing him how to cook, showing him how to draw, because he's an artist. So he was in a prior relationship with a woman before me, and she had a son that wasn't by him, and he helped her raise that boy up, and taught him how to draw, and the boy went on to become he's a popular tattoo artist in St. Louis now, because my youngest daughter's father is a phenomenal artist, so he's all about pouring into kids and the whole family man thing. But unfortunately, when he and I got in a relationship, I was doing too much. You know what I'm saying? I was in school, I was working, I had my own. So it was just like I didn't even
You was
create enough.
working on the Rainy future now.
I was
Yeah.
working on a Rainy future. So honestly, that relationship shouldn't have even happened because I wasn't open to letting a man come in and be the head, because I had too many things that I was doing with my own personal life. That I had tunnel vision. So for a man to come in and try to guide me and lead me, it's like you in the way for real. You know what I mean? I got to get up, take the kids to school. I got to go to work. I'm going to school during the day, working at night, barely getting sleep. I got assignments to do, so a man is only going to deal with so much of that. It's like, well, you don't even have time for me, so really, why am I here? Because I don't even have time to show you what I can be in this household, because you're so fixated on what you're trying to do that you have very little time to work on this relationship. So that's really how that ended up happening. And so, you know, you just grow apart after that, because he like, well, she obviously don't need me around.
Right.
And I know he wanted to feel needed, and I just couldn't make him feel needed, because in my mind at that time, he wasn't needed. I'm 24. I got my own car, my own crib. I'm working. I'm going to school. I have children. So it just, in my mind at 24, he just wasn't needed. I didn't know what a productive, you know, um, foundation, like a not productive, but I didn't know what a stable foundation looked like in a productive, relationship where we were working together. I didn't know how to build. All I knew how to
True.
do was take care of my business and get in where you fit in. Shit, that's
Yeah,
really what
life
it
don't
was.
come with a handbook.
Yeah, it was like get in where you fit in, pretty much.
So he gets kicked to the curb. That's three. He get, he out of here. You know what I'm saying? He's
Mm-hmm.
out of here, Miss Rainey. So,
He was out of there.
but never fear, because Miss Rainey got married.
I did.
Let's talk about that.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah, so
Keshaziz donated
again, like
$5
I'm a
through Super
relationship
Chat
kind
to
of
piss the
gal.
haters off.
I don't
Blessing
I don't date
always.
a lot. You know
Live
what I
life
mean?
to the
Usually
fullest.
when I end up with a person, we've known each other and we got a lot of history. That's how my relationships have worked out. Except for with my youngest daughter's father, because we didn't have that much history, but we just got along so well. We really did get along. We really liked each other. We had good times with one another. He was, fun. So we didn't know each other really long, but we really did get along well. So that's the good thing. My the man that I married, we had known each other in high school, and just off and on throughout the years, we would lose touch, but we would always find ourselves, back to each other, and it would be like no time had been missed. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't see a person for years, and then it's like you run into them at a party or, you know, at a store, and it's like, oh my God, you give each other a hug and like, where you been? Get each other number. Let me take you out. What you been up to? And before you know it, it's like that love is still there. So after about 3 times of that, you know what I'm saying, where we lost touch, got back together. He went off to the army, became a, sergeant in the army, and went off and got his degree, and did his thing. And I had been in and out of St. Louis and stuff. We decided, you know what, maybe this is meant to be. You know, like we keep going through this, we keep losing touch and coming back together, and we still love one another. This must be meant to be. And so we decided to get married.
Y'all getting married. He comes into the relationship. Y'all
Mhm.
known each other since teenagers.
Yep.
You got a family.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure he has a family too at this time.
Yep.
So it's like y'all just come together.
Pretty much
Y'all came together as one. How
like a
long did
damn
that
Brady
marriage?
Bunch.
How long did that marriage last?
The marriage itself lasted a year and a half.
And you were just like, you got to get on up out of here.
I mean, it was a, you know what? I'm a look again. I'm gonna just have to, admit that we just should have never got married.
Go
We
ahead and
just
tell
should
it, Rainey. Go ahead and tell it.
we shouldn't have gotten married because first of all, he was too fresh out of a previous situation. So it was one of those baby mama things. You know,
Uh,
she hated my guts. I guess she thought she was the one that was supposed to be the wife. You know what I mean? So it was just too much of just sabotaging and the hatred and her making his life harder
he was
because
fresh off
he was
of a breakup
yeah,
with her.
like I'd say 3 years. So
3 years off a breakup with her, but he never married her.
no, but they had a baby.
Okay, but he marries you. Now she's jealous. Or now
She
she's like, that should be me.
she couldn't take it. I'm
So
talking
she
about
did everything in her power to hate.
she flattened my tires.
Dang.
I mean, she was keeping him from seeing his kids. It was just very toxic. She
One of
blocked
them
me in the
type.
driveway. Yeah, man, it was crucial. And it was just nonstop. It was like she was going to stop at nothing to pretty much make it as difficult as possible. But really, that's not even what caused the issue. The issue was that he really just wasn't knowing how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't know how to handle it. Like I felt like he should have been doing
I know how
more.
he should have handled it.
Well,
Restraining order.
never got a restraining order. I think his thing, I'm gonna tell you, he was scared as hell of child support because he was making pretty decent money.
That's the kryptonite to most men.
Yeah, he was scared as hell of child support because he had already been on child support and he walked them 18 years down. Like while we were married, he celebrated his last payment of
Yeah.
child support. You know what I mean? To another child. So the threatening of child support and just the day-to-day, you know, nonsense was an issue. Whereas he and I would argue. I even thought we were gonna fight. It was just like, look, lady, look, Then there came a time where we were calm. We were I thought we had things under control, but you begin to realize like how much how many times am I going to have to like turn the other cheek and just ignore the fact that this is dysfunctional, like how long is this going to last? And I'm the type of person where I don't really spend a whole lot of time waiting around to like fuck around and find out. I'm pretty much going to make the decision even if it's premature. I don't really 2 3 years, nigga, look, it ain't working. I don't know how this going to turn out. I don't even want to stick around and see. And I mean, that's one of my issues. Like, I feel like in life, why do I need to wait 5 and 10 and 15 years just to know that this relationship ain't shit?
True. What you've been through is gonna lead to where we going in this here interview. Have the
Okay.
roles reversed in the black community. Reason why I say that is just a quick synopsis through your story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you had a tremendous responsibility put
Mm-hmm.
on you at a young age, at 21, which, out of your own admission, you didn't even really see it as a real responsibility. You seen it as something like, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do.
Yep.
That's my sibling. Like, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do what I'm supposed to do. I got a daughter. I got a son. We gonna figure it out. We gonna make it work. However,
Yep.
we gonna do it. But through this, uh, 3 relationships failed, And as these relationships are failing, you are realizing to yourself subconsciously that man or no man, you're gonna be all right. You know what
That's
I'm
true.
saying? Like
That's
it's
true.
not the point that you like fuck men or
Oh,
you know
hell
what I'm
no.
saying, this and that. But it's
Mm-hmm.
to the point where man or no man, you're gonna be all right. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not taking no bullshit. Like you say, if you see something ain't working, you like, hey yo, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Out of
ain't
here.
trying to figure nothing out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm out of here. I'm
You
not
know,
that
and I just,
woman that's just gonna like sit around and
oh, hell no.
you know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? Like yo, just sit around and let you do what you gonna do, and then
Oh,
you
no.
know. So when I
Mm-mm.
say have the roles reversed in the black community, last 2 weeks ago we had a young lady on here uh,
Mm.
um,
I saw it.
who's basically at the point now, probably only a couple of years older than the point where you was with tremendous responsibility. Where you know what I'm saying, like
Okay.
she's free. You know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
like no
No
children
children.
out there
Okay.
chasing. You know her like she's got the whole world in front of her with no responsibilities or nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful young lady too.
So this is like the complete opposite. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the complete opposite, but when it comes to relationships, it's kind of the same because even with
Okay.
her being young, she got married,
Oh.
found out that it was some bullshit. She didn't stick around. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even a year. I think it was like 9 months. You know what I'm saying? Got
Okay.
rid of. Okay, you got married. Figured out. You know, like yo,
We
you
should have
just
stayed
yeah,
friends.
you just coming off a relationship. Basically, you trying to use me on some rebound shit. You got her trying to carve up my shit, mad, jealous at me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because you married me. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I say that to say this, is a man needed in the household now?
Hell yeah.
Explain.
The man is definitely needed in the household. And the thing about it is, see, what happens is women, we are in a position where there are extreme demands, you know, that are placed in our lives because of how society is right now, right? So a strong woman is going to want to live up to the expectations of what society says should come out of the household, but she's going to be trying to do it on her own. So in our mind, we're convincing ourselves that we can do it and still, you know, operate in our femininity, and that's just like not true, because it's like we have children, you know, th- without the man in the household there's no balance. So I'll just say, if you have children, you know, when you're working, um and when you are needing self-care, you know, when you have responsibilities that are placed on you, like maybe your parents are older, you know, you stretching yourself so thin, and then once you realize like you can't do anymore, it's like you start to become bitter. You know what I mean? I see women become bitter, and now you're not even enjoying everything that you worked for. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can get out there and get a decent job, you get your education, get a good job, nice home, nice car, and you can look the part. But now you've stretched yourself so thin because of all these demands that are placed in front of you. And it's really the demands that the society placed in front of you, because society says you need to look like this, you need to have that, you need to be able to, you know, go to certain places, and you need to be able to, dress a certain way and drive a certain car, and have certain friends in order to really be accepted. And so you want to live up to all of these demands, and also tend to your kids, clean your house, take care of your parents, um, accommodate your friendships. And once you've stretched yourself so thin, you become bitter, and then you can't enjoy what you worked for, and you're resenting men. It's like, now you're mad at the man, and it's like, but it's not the man's fault. You know what I mean? It's really not his fault, because for whatever reason you convinced yourself that he wasn't necessary, right? With the man in the household, a good man that's going to lead, he's going to notice, like, well, baby, I see that you're trying to do this, this, that, and that, and I know where I can step in and relieve the load, because I don't want you to wear yourself thin, because I need you around. You know what I mean? Like, I need you around to continue to nurture, and not be so stressed out with the children. And, I need you to be able to smile. You have women out here that don't even smile nowadays. They just don't even know how to be happy. And so the children are missing out, on the leadership of the father. The children are missing out on seeing a well-balanced male, female, dynamic in the household. And um, and society is going to label that woman, as no good. And that's hard to deal with, because especially when you get a certain age, you're not married, then it's like, oh, well, what's wrong with you? So now you got this label on you. You're stretched thin, you're bitter, you resent men, and the confusion comes in. And so these women fall into depression. And that's why you have a bunch of bitter, angry Black women who are now trying to find happiness in all the wrong places, getting, surgery and spending all their money on clothes. And they want to go on social media to be desired, because now they're scrambling, trying to figure out, well, what can I do to make myself, feel complete? Because you've just stretched yourself too thin. You need that man in the household, because you need a partner, a teammate,
I,
somebody to build with.
I've heard this numerous times, and I disagree with it. They say, well, a female can't raise a man. You got a
Yeah, I
son.
disagree. Mm-hmm.
You got a son.
Mm-hmm.
They said that a female can't raise a man, like to be a man, like you know what I'm saying, like uh, he needs only a man can raise a man, and I look at it as I feel like that's not true, because like that's basically you saying that a man can't raise a female, like
Mm-hmm.
his daughter. What I will say is this, like the importance of a woman to a man is the same
Mm-hmm.
importance as a man to that woman. Like
Well, yeah.
a woman can
Mm-hmm.
raise a man to the point where a woman is going to be the only woman in a man's life that's going to love him unconditionally and don't
Mm-hmm.
want nothing from him.
Exactly.
Like they're gonna love him, but but a man is gonna find guidance from another man, whether it's his daddy or not. Like he's gonna take the nurturing from a woman,
Mm-hmm.
but if it's not a male in the household, then his environment shows him like the manly stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
you show the nurturing side, a man is gonna go out. Okay, if a father's not around, then he's going to adapt to whoever his friends is.
Yep.
And his friend's father's influence or whatever the male that he's gonna adapt to his friends, he's gonna adapt to his idols, like growing
Yep.
up to, whether it's music or
Mm-hmm.
sports or like you said, my man gravitated to your one of your exes who could draw. And then he
Mm-hmm.
became a tattoo artist. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Like so like they could gravitate to a pastor. They could
Yep.
gravitate to a coach. They could gravitate the same thing vice versa if a man is put into the precarious position where he has to raise a daughter by himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to give her that unconditional love that they can only get from that man who isn't going to want nothing in return. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as them being a woman, They're gonna get that from aunties or their homegirls they
The
grow up
homegirls,
with,
yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. If they don't have a everyday woman in the house like to learn from, they gonna learn from TV. They gonna learn from whatever they learn from. But it's still up like to the man to be like, yeah, I see where you going, but like dial that back a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like that's too ratchet. That's too this. But I say all that to say this. To me,
Mm-hmm.
the black community is through. Like when we sit here and we talk about
Terrible condition.
these here roles reversed, it's
Mm-hmm.
basically like patchwork at this point. Like
Yeah.
everybody gonna have to figure it out. You got dysfunction on both sides. Has
Mm-hmm.
this ever played into you like, you know what? 3 up, 3 down. Well,
Mm-hmm.
4 up, 4 down. 3 up, 3 down. Marriage up, marriage down. Fuck these niggas. I'm about to find me a white man or somebody else out the other race. Has that ever came on you like that?
Not me. I mean, because I just the
Are
thing
you
about it,
against it?
no, I'm not against it because I understand that some women they just really feel like in a hurry um to be with the man. And my whole thing is this. I'm all about why didn't those relationships work? And what was my part in why those relationships didn't work? So I'm all about I need to fix what's going on with me because like you said, I had major responsibilities at a young age. So there's a lot of things that I pretty much neglected, as I was maturing because I was all about business for real. I had to take care of my business. I got custody of my sister at 21, but the responsibility started at 18. You know what I mean? Because at 18, from 18 to 21, I had to prove to them that I was a suitable guardian. So I had to build
So
up to
18, you
where
watching over a 13-year-old.
right, I had to go visit her. You know what I mean? I had visitations with her, and this is before I had got a car. So I hurried up and got me a car, my very first income tax check. I ain't have a license. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I went to the car lot, I dropped the whole income tax check. Look, give me that car, and I need to, you know what I'm saying? Just take care of my business. That's just how it's always been for me. So because I was just so focused on that part of my life, I never really took the time out to understand how to really nurture a relationship with a man.
And it goes
But
back to what you were saying.
mhm,
I didn't mean to cut you off, but it goes back to what you were saying where I remember you saying you had that responsibility on you. And then when your second relationship came and you was older, it was like you said he was there and he was spending all the time with the kids, something that you didn't have like in the first relationship because that person was hanging out on the street,
mhm,
this and that. And then it was like you was like kind of like you was exhaling a little bit and you was like because you said you didn't have time for him because you was like, oh, it's my time now. Like I'm focused. I'm focusing on Rainey now. Like I'm going to school. I'm
mhm,
working. Like I don't have time for the lovey dovey stuff. You know what I'm
I
saying? Like
didn't.
I'm doing this. You're a good dude and all that, but now I got to focus on me. You know what I'm saying? So like
Pretty much.
it does play into the point. Like I said, like and I think that goes for a lot of people when you don't understand someone's past or like
Mhm,
you don't take the time to really fully understand somebody's like
mhm.
because that could have been a conversation like if took time like he could have been like, man, I wonder why Rainey acts like this. Like I
Yep.
wonder why Rainey doesn't have the time, for me that I want to spend time with her, but she's always on the go, this and that. And by like not having those conversations of figuring out, oh, I get it, because she devoted everything from 18 till now, making sure everybody else was right. So now that I'm here taking a little bit of that off her, now, you know what I'm saying, it's helping her to try to get to where she's trying to be.
Damn, Mrs. Skinny, it's like you were there.
Hey, I'm just listening. But what I say with this here with the black community, I'm all for black male, black female, you know, healthy
Me too.
heterosexual relationships, black families. That's what I'm about. Black families. You know what I'm
Yeah, we
saying?
need we need that.
Yeah, ain't no black girl magic. Ain't no, you know. I'm more like about black families. I don't think it's a like you have a whole bunch of representations of different nationalities of families.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to black people is like, well, we got the Obamas and that's it. We halfway got Jay-Z and Beyonce. We hope that sticks together. But other than that, Will and Jada, they tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like black people only really got like a handful of relationships that they put on the pedestal. And the reason why I think that is because people look out for other stuff instead of trying to
Well,
work around and fix their community that they can, you know, actually have an impact in. You know what I
you
mean?
you know what I've come to understand? I've come to understand that the media only shows the handful. But honestly, if we walk outside our door and really pay attention, we'll see that there are black couples and their black love still exists. Like I follow a page on Instagram specifically because I want to see more than that. I want to see more of it. I mean, and I see all types of like um, you know, couples. I mean, like the woman, she might be heavier set and she might have a man that's cutting in shape, you know, and he fine and she's beautiful, but you know, they kind of made their differences fit together. You know, then you'll have
Let
the
me
two
ask you this,
gorgeous
Rainey.
and
How
so
many do
black
you
love
know?
is out there.
Let me ask you this. How
Mhm.
many do you know?
How many do I know that are
Personally.
married or just
Yeah,
together?
yeah, personally, married with
A
black
handful.
family.
A handful.
I don't know none.
You don't know none. You one.
I mean, I know myself, but me personally, I don't know none. As far as personally, like now on the
Mm.
internet, like you know, I know like the Magi's, you know what I'm saying. But I'm talking
Okay,
about
that's
like
two.
I'm talking about like personally. Now I'm talking
Mhm.
about like who you can actually
Go
get
hang
in the
out with.
car,
Yeah.
go sit on the porch, and be like, hey, like you know what's up, and see a healthy black
But is that a you thing, or is that
relationship.
a? Do you think it's a just a you issue, or do you think it's they just not out there? Because maybe you just aren't in those spaces or something. You
I
know
know.
where?
Hold on. I know. I know Tony. That's one.
Okay, see.
But that's one. Look how hard I had to think. You see what you see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying after roles reversed in the black community, like is it really necessary now? Are people like really looking like, oh well, you know, we don't have to get married as long as you handle your business. Like how you were saying that your ex husband was deaf scared of child support.
Yeah, he was
So
scared to
so it's
death.
like, do we have to get married as long as you handle your business?
I
Is
mean,
marriage something now? You know how like growing up, I'm pretty sure as females you have the fairy tale. You dress up as little
yeah.
girls. You like this gonna be my wedding day, and you know
Hmm.
this the type of husband I want. This is the dream. Do you think that's out there today?
It's out there. It is definitely out there. You know, it is. It's just that
The
we got to
Cinderella
understand.
Prince Charming story is still relevant today.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's still relevant. It's just that
explain to that, especially a mother of two girls, because you
um
get to witness it growing up, their generation growing up as well. So,
so what are you asking me? Like, is it possible,
like,
or do
do
people
your
still doing it?
daughters, do you see it like the twinkle in your daughter's eyes, like when they have prom or when they like You know what I mean? Because you get to see them once they get to the age where they talking to mommy about boys, and you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying. It's boy crazy, and they like, do they have those dreams? Do they share those dreams with mama? Like, mama, one day I'm gonna have the husband
No,
with the picket fence.
no,
Okay.
no. I would say that the generation that they're in, a lot of these young folk, they want clout, they want money. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the fairy tale and that generation of being married and having the white picket fence and all of that, I don't see the younger generation like the 90 the 2000 babies, really with that mindset, because it's all about clout, money, popularity, for them. But what I will say is that they still want healthy love, but they don't know what it looks like. But I know that they want it.
Why I say the roles have reversed now? Because I
Mm-hmm.
remember growing up when I was growing up
Mm-hmm.
when when salute to everybody that's donating. We're gonna read them off at the end, just because I don't want the interruption while we're doing the interview. But salute to y'all. I see y'all. Salute to Tish, A
Salute y'all.
Train. Um, what I see is this: when I was growing up, and you
Mm-hmm.
probably can attest to this here too. When I was growing up, it wasn't normal not to see my friends and their mama and daddy married.
That's true.
I'm talking about and grandparents
Mm-hmm.
still married. I'm talking about to the point where you get older and you would have your grandparents living in the house, married. They wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
even be talking to each other. But you wouldn't know nothing about it. You
Right,
know what
right.
I'm saying? You wouldn't know about it. You know what I'm saying? Like your grandfather could have two or three different families. So, but you wouldn't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As far
Mm-hmm.
as you is concerned, yo, you better not say nothing bad about him.
Right.
I better not hear you saying shit. I'm gonna cut your ass. You know what I'm saying? That's your granddaddy. He's a good. That's your daddy. He's a good
Mm-hmm.
man. I don't want. You better not say nothing bad about your daddy. Now, you know what I'm saying? These days, man, I hear women be like talking to their kids like, "Your daddy ain't shit.
I
Your
know.
daddy is this and that."
It's terrible.
Like it. That's why I say have the roles reversed, because back when I was growing up, you was the odd one out. If
Yeah,
if if you didn't have a daddy.
that's true.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you got a daddy,
You the
you the
odd.
odd
Mm-hmm.
one out. Like, what? You mean you got a mama and a daddy? What do you
I
think
mean,
attributed to that? Because something had to happen to change the status quo. Something had to happen
yeah.
because you might as well just change the vows, because I feel like growing up, our elders lived on for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
Now even you said, shit, 2 years if it ain't working, I'm out. Ain't no working it. I'll figure it out somewhere else.
Well, I really do believe that it was just the conditioning of, like, it was the conditioning of the black family and making the woman believe that she really could do it on her own, right? And
I
we
agree.
like we started to feel like if we can go out there, like for me, I'm gonna speak for me personally. I knew that I could go out there, enroll in some classes, and get a job and take care of my family, and I was able to do it on my own. So there wasn't a priority to um have a man in the household. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a priority. I wasn't opening myself up for that at the time. I took full control and I took matters into my own hands. So because I knew that those opportunities were out there, and even at a young age, like my mother, as a single mom, she left me responsible for the household. And I know that that had a lot to play, because a lot of my friends, they would have to babysit while their mamas was at work. So when your mamas are at work and you're left to be responsible for the household, you already feel like an adult. So as you get older, if you have a single mom and your mom is making you responsible for the household when she's at work, you grow up just already feeling like you don't need that masculine, energy or that leadership in your household because you was running shit when your mama was at work. When my mother was at work, I was cooking, cleaning, making sure my sisters' homework was done. I had things in order. So when my mother came home, all she had to do was shower and get into bed. So at a young age, I'm programmed to believe that, I can handle things. So as I got older and I started realizing there were opportunities for me, I just didn't really see the necessity of a man being, in my home. I wanted it, but I didn't see the importance of it. I've been proposed to, I've turned down marriages. I know that I could have done more to make those relationships work, but
Shout out to the niggas who you turned down.
yeah, you
Hey,
know,
but I don't want to get off topic, but I
yeah.
never actually heard, I've never ever been able to have a conversation with somebody who actually turned it down. Tell me how does that work when you got a man in front of you on one knee with a ring saying, Rainey, will you marry me? And you like, it ain't coming.
It was just, again, I didn't take it seriously. I just was like, you playing. I just felt like, it was something in me that just felt like you playing. And that was, he found that to be very disrespectful because I was like, you playing. You know what I'm saying? This isn't what you want. Like, and he was infuriated that I even like approached the situation like that. Like you playing.
I wanna
I actually
give
laughed
you
at it.
I wanna give you my insight
Mm-hmm.
on how I think the roles reversed in the black community, if I may.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it was a program implemented to emasculate the black man, to tear apart black families, and it was an intricate plan. If you notice anything that has caused the destruction of African Americans. I say African Americans because I'm talking about the black people that was brought from Africa to America.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been an intricate plan, like, and it's been a real thought out plan. It's just that they use certain individuals to carry it through. The plan has been already thought out hundreds of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They just use certain people to implement it. Case in point, this man named Willie Lynch came
Mm-hmm.
up with a plan to keep another race of human beings over another race of human beings. You know what I'm saying? And the
Yeah.
plan basically was take the man, the head of the family,
Mm-hmm.
take him out in front of everybody, his wife, the children, everybody, tie him up to a tree, hang him in front of everybody, or do other heinous stuff, uh, tie a rope to each leg, to each arm, and have horses running each direction, and
Mm-hmm.
all this in front of these people to implement fear. So what does the motherly duties do at that point? Son, say what he say,
Mm-hmm.
because mama don't want to see you end up like that. So
Yeah.
do what this man here says. So let's fast forward. Slavery's over. You got projects, okay. We all know how that go. But still, in these here projects, you got strong black families.
Mm-hmm.
Strong black families. I'm talking about mother, father. So what do they got to do?
Grandparents.
So what do they so what's their next plan? Okay, well, we can't have them as slaves because that's against the law. So what will we do? We will build prisons, and then we'll lock them up, take them
Yeah.
away again from the female. So now, who does the female have to rely on? Us. So how do they do that? Because you still got a strong family structure in place. Because like you said, when you was growing up, when I was growing up, everybody had a daddy.
Yeah.
Everybody had a mama. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody had a grandmama, a granddaddy. Everybody. So people was poor, but it still was a structure. This here the man of the house.
Right.
This here's the female, get the kids up, cook, clean. So what do? They start pumping drugs into these here neighborhoods, making these here men get on narcotics that'll make them steal,
Yeah.
make them leave their family, make them sell their kids' clothes,
Steal the
toys.
Christmas gifts.
Yeah. Even go to the extent of selling their own wives' bodies. So what ends up happening, right, is now all these here men is in jail. So guess what? The women out here who are used to the men going out and providing while they stay at home with the kids, now they on a thing called welfare, the system. They getting checks, they getting Section 8, they getting project housing, they getting all of this, right? You know why they getting all this? Because the man is not there. So what do they do next? That's when the Clinton administration, they say, well, you know what? We're not gonna take care of these women no more. We not gonna take care of these women no more. They can't sit at home, have children, while these men go out and do drugs and stick us with the bill. So what are we gonna do to the hood? We are gonna take these same women, force them to get a job. Force them to get a job. Where they gonna work at? In the prison system that's overcrowded. So now you put these here women, not only are you giving black women the visual of seeing the men that's supposed to be the head of their households in prison at the lowest of the low, being told when to wake up, being told when to go to sleep. If you say something back, they beat you down with billy clubs and put you in the hole. And not only that, they making them aid and abet them doing it. Because now you got to work back there at places like that. You know what I'm saying? They coming up with these programs where they putting these here women that's on welfare in prisons. They putting them on these here jobs where they are over men. The order is turned over. So guess what? You've been forced because you don't have a choice. You've been forced to go to work. They've basically done figured it out for you. You don't need a man. You done seen what these men, you can tell them, shut up. Know what I mean? Listen to what I say. I'm going to lock you down, this and that. The emasculation that happened. So now what? When you see a man, subconsciously, you like, nigga can't tell me shit. I just told you what to do. Know what I'm saying? I've been telling niggas what to do. You know what I'm saying? So now it's kind of like the roles have reversed now because now it's abnormal to see married African American couples. And not even African American couples because with systematic I call it not systematic racism, but systematic planning because it's a plan put in by the system. But what they don't realize is it backfires on them too because white marriages are being affected as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
see, white marriages are being affected as well. But when I say have the roles reversed in the black community,
Mm.
100%, I think the roles are reversed in the black community because um, the social structure, the socialism is changing in the black community. Like now, I listen to some black female panels, and they take it as a badge of honor to be single.
Yeah. See, and everything that you just said, I've heard these conversations and had these conversations, and you are 100% spot on. Um, that's how it played out. You know what I'm saying? And it was a conditioning of like, especially on a black woman, our mind has been conditioned to really feel that whatever it is that we need, we can go out there and do it ourselves, and we don't need the the black man's leadership. You know, they put us in these high positions. Like I've seen, like here in Texas, it's always a black woman and a like a principal, or you know, like that like she's in a high position where she's over a group, and that makes us feel like we're um we're more powerful than the black man, because we'll see the black man and he out here struggling, working two jobs because he got child support, or you know, nobody will hire him because he has a criminal record, or you know, something like that, or he's on drugs real bad. So um but I just could never get, I can't convince myself that there aren't any, you know, healthy black house, you know, black households with the man and a woman, because
It
if I
is. I mean, it is healthy, but
Mhm.
European culture has always been based on vice versa. Like what you see, what what they what they give you as reality
Mhm.
is really vice versa, is falsehood. You know what I'm saying? Like this society, America, they are, as far as when it comes to other people, because the United States is supposed to be a melting pot, but we all know that it's a European country. You know what I'm saying? That so when I say that to say this is they will put out in the forefront, um, we all about female rights,
Mhm.
equality, which I am too, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the females out there, the CEOs and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Putting it down. But in reality, European society don't like that. European society will rather have a black man in leadership
Mhm.
than a white woman. Than
Yeah.
a woman, period. Black and European society would rather have a Barack Obama as president than a
Than a
Hillary
Hillary
Clinton.
Clinton. Yeah. I don't have a problem with black men being in power. What I have a problem is that a lot of these black women, they have these powerful positions, or they have this status, and they've allowed that to uh, be a reason to not feel like they need to be submissive to the black male leadership, because your employer, where you work at and how much money you make, has nothing to do with male leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
you can be
Give it up for that.
just because you, that's the issue that I have. It's just that regardless of how much money you make or what your position is as a black woman, you can make $100,000 a year, and you can come home to a man that's starting his own business, and maybe he's only bringing in um, $30,000 a year, but you still need to submit to that man, because at the when it's all said and done, he still has a role to play, and he can lead you in the family in ways that you just can't do. You know what I mean? Like, your job doesn't define like your role in in society.
I heard
You
you
know,
say
a lot of
this.
mhm.
I heard you say this here one day. Matter of fact, make sure you subscribe to Life Talk with Rainey. But I heard you say this one day, and I was like, you know what? That's real, and it brought me back to what you just said just now, as far as a woman could be making 150,000 a year, and her man could be making 20. You know what I'm saying? To 30 to 40,000 a year. That should not dictate the roles
Right.
as
But a
as
lot of,
far as
yeah.
humanity. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Mhm.
humans, that's the humans is the only ones that materialistic stuff dictates how they move. Like if you see
Yeah.
how any other people move, it's a social structure. It's a social concept. Like lions move a certain type of way. Dogs move a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
they respect their roles. And you said this on your show. You was like, people be looking for things in a woman, not knowing what the most important quality of a woman is, and that's being a woman. Because if you let a woman just be a woman, then she can be that backbone to make a man feel like he can conquer the world.
Yeah.
Same way I
She's
feel
nurturing.
like with what you just said, like a woman could be making 100,000, $200,000 a year
Mhm.
and be like, oh shit, I don't need this here nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can be doing this myself. But if she
Mhm.
lets a man be a man and be the leader of the house, that could catapult her up to half a meal a year.
Mhm.
Just by, you know what I'm saying, that man being what he's supposed to be. And I think that gets lost in a lot of this here stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
See, a lot of people can talk this bullshit, but we talking real shit tonight, y'all. Give it up for real shit.
give it up for real shit. Give it up. I mean, and I'm one of those women where you're not going to catch me on a panel of women um in support of bashing men. You're not going to catch me having a conversation where I'm tearing down a black man or saying that the black man isn't needed in the household, or the man, period. You know, I know we're talking about the black community, so that's why I'm sticking to that. But because I'm all for, when you are a woman, your dominant energy is feminine, and that is a very powerful energy once you really realize how to tap into it and use it to grow things and nurture things, right? And so, even with the female having masculine energy as well, you just have to know when it's necessary to tap into. Like some men, they'll use more of their, we all have feminine and masculine energy. So if a man is operating too much in his feminine energy, you are off balance, sir. You need to understand the power in your masculine energy and then operate in that, walk in that, and know how to lead, know how to guide, know how to plan, know how to, you know, uh work. If you have a vision, you have to know how to create a blueprint to bring your vision into reality. Like, the woman is going to nurture, she's going to help water those things. And when you work together and you know how to operate in your power, regardless of how much money each person is making, you still have to know what role you play. And a lot of women just feel because she makes the money, that's not all that a man does. A man just isn't a provider. That's not just a man. Oh, he provides. Like, there's so much more to the masculine energy and just his presence and how he soothes the woman. You know what I mean? How his method of being a true supporter of the woman and comforting the woman and helping her to feel safe and creating a stable foundation, just because he's leading and he's giving her the confidence to know that everything will be okay. Like, women think because they go out and make a bunch of money, oh, I don't need no man. Well, that's not all that a man is good for. It's so much more to that. And women just, and it's annoying to me because women will tear down a man without even realizing that you're using your feminine energy to destroy. And you think you're using your feminine energy to empower yourself. Oh, I can do bad by myself, or I'm a strong black woman, or black girl magic, or I can, do all things that a man can do. You think you're using your feminine energy to empower, but you're actually using your feminine energy to tear down the man.
Two-part
So it's
question.
counterproductive.
Two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, First part of the question: how do you feel about females that push the agenda, um, who push the male bashing agenda? Like the females who be like, I don't need no man, can't no man tell me nothing, this and that. How do you feel about those? And how do you feel about uh, the women who push the agenda that black women should date outside their race?
I'm definitely against the male bashing. Like, I don't listen to it because um I just really believe that everything that these women say when they're male bashing, man bashing, it's really just coming from a place of hurt and pain and fear. It's the energy vibration is too low. When you do all that male bashing, you are basically setting fire to your own house. So I don't listen to that because it's depressing. Because it's like, you don't understand that. You think that you're expressing and showing and exuding strength because you want to talk about how piss poor the black man is in the community, but you burning up your community when you do that. Because as a woman in your feminine energy, one of the greatest things that we have is we're able to nurture and make things grow. The saying, a man bring home the food and a woman makes a meal. The man um, has builds the house, the woman makes it a home. you know all of those things that the man brings, the woman is nurturing it and growing it. So just by you saying that the black man ain't this and the black man ain't that, you setting fire to your own house. And I'm just not for that, none whatsoever. If anything, we know that there are no good, we know that there are black men out here that aren't good. They don't pay child support, they don't care their kids, they cheaters, they're drug addicts, they jailbird. We know all of that. So put that to the side, and then let's just start to cultivate and sow into the men that we know need our nurturing, because there are those men out there. We don't have to put so much attention on the men that lack in the things that we want to see more of. Let's just focus on the men that we do see applying some effort. He may not be driving a Lexus or a BMW. Maybe he is on the bus, but he getting his ass up every day. He going to work every day. He's saving a little bit of money. He taking care of his responsibilities. Those men need us to let them know we see you. Don't give up, because one day you're going to get there. You know what I'm saying? But we neglect those men because we so busy focusing on the ain't good, the no good men out here, that we're not even nurturing the men out here that we do see, working two jobs because they want to take care and pay child support, but at the same time they know they have bills to pay. So I'm not for man bashing, none whatsoever, because I feel like all the women that are doing that, you are burning down your own community. You can use your words to build, and we do have the power to do that. That's a part of being feminine and operating your power. You nurture, you help things grow. Now when it comes to dating outside of the race, to each his own with that. I really just prefer to stick with my black man. I'm not one of those people to just say, well, black men out here ain't stepping up to the plate, so I'm gonna try. Love is love. So if there was a man that if he's not black and he comes my way and he just Cupid, strikes and I fall in love, I'm not gonna turn it down, but um I don't really give it the time of day because I do know that there's still I believe in black love. I just believe that people need to see more of that, and I want to be a representation of a healthy black family. So really, I don't give men outside of my race the time of day because that's just not my preference. I'm not against it, but it's not my preference. So, but women who feel like they need to date outside of their race just to uh be treated, to be treated right, I feel like they're being selfish.
And to piggyback off what you just said, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I don't want people to use my words as if I'm giving black men a crutch. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like because like if you got a black man in the household and he's destructive, he's
Mm-hmm.
uh he's on drugs, he's stealing, he's
Mm-hmm.
um he's not a good representation of
Right.
what the kids should see. Yeah, get away from this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Get him out. But what I'm saying is because at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for yourself and your
Mm-hmm.
actions. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's putting a gun to your head and telling you to get on drugs. Ain't nobody's doing this. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you got to take responsibility on what's more important. You know what I mean? Like your family are doing this. I'm only saying that the government planted the gun. They didn't make you pull the trigger. Meaning like everything was put in place where okay,
Mm-hmm.
um, black people majority are poor. Black people at in the early in the late 80s and the early 90s, the 90s mostly was poor, mostly was impoverished. Matter of fact, I got some friends, uh a white couple, friends of mine who was telling me how back in 1975 they in-laws bought 20 acres uh, for $20,000
Dang.
back then, and so now they got an estate, like it's like right around the corner from me, and this same property now is appraised at like
Mm.
$2.5 million. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like that's like the generational wealth. Like keeping it in the
Mm-hmm.
family, not selling it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Mm-hmm.
but what I say is about uh, the government planted the gun. They just didn't make you pull the trigger. What I'm saying is, cocaine was a white collar drug. Like no matter how much black people might have wanted it, they wasn't gonna be able to afford it. So what did they
Mm-hmm.
do? Not only did they come out with a cheaper version of it,
Yeah.
but how do you come out with a cheaper version of something and give people more time than the people that use the real version? You
Mm.
get caught snorting cocaine, you get a slap on the wrist. 5 years reduced to 1 year probation, if that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You get caught with that same amount of crack cocaine, and you can go to jail for life after your second offense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say it's like, okay, they sit the gun down there. Once you pick it up, if you pull the trigger, but then not only that, you got this, and then it trickles down to the people that sell it.
Right.
So it is what it is, though, man. When it comes to the roles, like reversing in the black community, I think basically, um, right now we basically looking at a community that has been attacked in so many different directions now
Yeah.
that it's attacking itself. Meaning that you got light skinned blacks attacking dark skinned blacks. You
Mm-hmm.
got broke blacks attacking rich blacks. You
Yep.
got broke black people trying to make black people feel bad for having something. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So, like, it's even all over the place.
You got black people. There are some black people that are married that will use their marriage as a way to come across as being better than black people that are single. You know, like, oh, I'm married and you not. Like, okay,
But act
so
worse than the single people.
right. Like your marriage is trash because you're not even respecting the vows that were made. So, you know, so yeah. But what I will add to that is that the roles definitely, it's like the roles have been reversed, but I do believe that in our community we're starting to feel we're starting to feel those we're starting to feel the pain. You know what I mean? Like we're doing it to ourselves, but I believe that our eyes are opening and we see what we're doing to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like we see it, we're feeling those pains. We're because things are so out of order and upside down. Now we're all affected by it. So it really doesn't matter what your status is or what you look like or where you live or who you know, where you work. You're still affected in some way when it comes to like the disruption within our community. So we're all feeling it. It doesn't matter your status now. It doesn't, you can't have, you, even as a millionaire, you're not going to move away to a place and then separate yourself from the pain of what's going on in the black community. It's like even money and status and all of those things can't separate you from the pain of what we're going through because you hear it in the music, you hear it in these interviews. um you know, so when these even successful people, celebrities and all of that, when they tell you what they're experiencing even in their social groups, it's the same thing. It's just they got money but they feeling it. So I feel like sometimes it just you got to hit rock bottom and start to work your way up, and I believe that we pretty damn close to rock bottom. So we all feeling it. It's only but a matter of time where we start working towards the solution. And the solution may not just be black men. We may not start off with the solution as getting the men back in the household, but whatever the first step is, I do believe we'll start working towards that eventually because it's just too much going on and it's being talked about. And even though you got the women that are bashing men, you got the manosphere, we hear things and we don't like what we hear, but at least we are hearing where people's heads are at. Like I don't like the women bashing black men, but it's interesting to hear how they think. You know what I mean? Because now when I enter into conversations with women, I'm like prepared for different types of mindsets, and then I can hopefully redirect them to a more higher frequency of thinking, you know. So as long as it's being talked about, that's important.
Well, people are stuck now, Rainey, in the
Yeah, that's
people are
true.
stuck now in
Period.
the race issue when that's
Mhm.
done already done passed. Like the
Yeah,
race
hell yeah.
issue done passed. It ain't no need to be talking about black people this, white people this. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's thinking like that now. You know what I'm saying? Now it's all about green. That's the only
Yeah.
color. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're a black person with money, you accept it. You know what I'm saying? You accept it whether you have a black woman, a white woman, you know what I'm saying, or this or that. The same with a black woman. You accept it, you know what I mean? People
Yeah.
not even looking at that right now, except for the people that want other people to feel bad.
Yeah, but we all know that but money ain't fixing the problem.
Money is not fixing the problem. But well, money is fixing the problem. You know what I'm saying? Money's not fixing the problem, but
Money is a band-aid.
money is a race now. If you can see what I'm trying to say, like money is a race now to the point where you'll have people hating on other people. You'll have people hating on black people by saying dastardly stuff about what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like people will sit there and say, I hate YouTubers. They need to get a real job. All the while they trying to be YouTubers. And see, those be the people that if you allow to steal all your energy, that you can't reach out and help the people that's really, really about something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would we sit here and waste our time on people that's trying to destroy what you built? No matter how you built it, no matter how they agree or disagree with how you built it, it was your time that built it. But instead of people, and I'm going to say black people, instead of people just going their own way, they will go out their way to just mess with people because they miserable. Case in point, you got light-skinned people that'll just go out their way and mess with dark-skinned people because the people that they want to pay them attention is not paying it to them. They paying it to somebody else who they feel that they're superior to.
Yeah.
And see, that's learned behavior.
Yeah.
So when you say when you get money, you know, you still be attached to the stuff that these people is going through. Shit, not me. Know what I'm saying? Give me money. I could give a damn on what these hating niggas going through. Because at the end of the day, man,
Well,
you
not
ain't
not
gonna be able to.
necessarily.
You're not gonna be able to help. Like as
Yeah,
bad as we
I don't
sitting up
mean
here
that these
talking
people.
and we want to help. Guess what? Tomorrow when I cut that live stream on another channel, and I go and tear off some black people heads, it's gonna be more people watching that than watching us now. But the
That's
right people are watching us now because I
true.
feel like the people that's watching us now really, really want to make a change or really, really want to see not only their children, but people who they care about actually come together in some type of community to help each other. But people so grimy now, you help somebody one day, then they throw it up in your face the next day when it's time for them to pay you back that you ain't shit. Like damn, so I wasn't shit when I lent it to you. But now that it's the day that I need it back, now I
You
ain't
ain't
shit.
Yeah. Well, I want to just say, like, as far as the references of money, people with money, I don't mean that they necessarily care about what's going on. I just know that they feel it. They're affected because
Oh yeah, they got the same problems.
they got the same problems, and just because they're rich, they still got family.
Right, they got the
You
same
still
problems.
got cousins and aunties and uncles and friends from high school, and all of that you see going through it. You may now have worked yourself to income bracket to where you don't have to be amongst it, but you feeling it. So I'm just saying
But
that.
I think they feel it a different way. And correct me
Yeah, they
if
feel
I'm
it a little different
wrong.
way.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because LeBron James is a billionaire, right?
Shout out to LeBron.
And again, my bad, LeBron. I meant to add you to the list of black families. That's you know,
It's many out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I meant to add him to that, like him and
Mhm.
Savannah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Billionaires. Black family, high school sweetheart, kids. You know what I'm
Positive
saying?
representation of us.
Definitely positive representation. Whether however you feel about them, definitely positive representation. But this here how black people think. This is how black people think. LeBron's son went to his senior prom with a white woman.
Hmm.
Guess who probably ain't had nothing to say about it? LeBron's son and his peers. Guess who had the
Hmm.
most to say about it? These hating ass niggas down here who ain't got two nickels to rub together and want to get
Yeah.
on this here internet and just mess with people and be like, why LeBron let him date that white girl? Why LeBron ain't this and that? Why this and that? That's the type of stuff that I be talking about. Like, why you worried about LeBron? What are you doing?
Yeah,
Like, you
and
don't
I
have to
mean,
have the money that LeBron has, but
hmm
what are you doing? Nothing.
I mean,
Hating and trying to bother people and talk about people that's not only done acquired generational wealth for their kids, but their grandkids, their great grandkids, and that should be the goal.
yeah.
And it should definitely be the goal as an African American community, seeing what we all went through. That should be the ultimate goal. That
Yeah,
should be the ultimate goal.
people spend so much time just complaining about, like, this is just the result. When we see those type of things, that's the result of just all the issues that's in our community that actually led up to that. But people just spend so much time focusing on that. They're not spending enough time on focusing on the solutions on how to just build up our community to be stronger. Like, we shouldn't be giving so much attention on those things. We should be focusing more on how can we get us right.
A black person get out an apartment, get a house. All his buddies he left back in the apartment complex. All them niggas think they something. Motherfuckers done got a motherfucking house and shit.
Mhm.
Don't let you move up on the hill around white folks.
Right.
All them motherfuckers think they something now. They
Hmm.
living out here. Instead of coming together and being like, man, how you did it?
Damn right, because
Like
that's what I want to know.
Sunday,
That's to
I
be my that'd be
always
my
love
question.
doing this because
Hmm.
I always experience this every year. But Sunday is like a soccer team that we adopted, and like every time it's the playoffs,
Hmm.
um, I come in and cut the whole team's hair, and but it's amazing to see like in this area how you have Asian moms,
Hmm.
white moms, um, African moms. When I say African moms, I'm talking about like African like
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
Nigerian.
like you have
Hmm.
African American parents
Hmm.
and all their kids and everybody just getting along.
Hmm.
Everybody talking about life. Everybody kids in the same school district. You know what I'm saying? It is no I mean monotone
Hmm.
throughout the room. And it just amazes me. And I'm talking about people are dialoguing like, oh,
Right.
I
Hmm.
came over here to this country and such, and like, oh yeah, da 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 da. It's just
Hmm.
like a whole difference than when you like got a whole bunch of people that I guess you could say that's in poverty because nobody loves the hood like I love the hood. But guess what? Nobody enjoys leaving that motherfucker more than me. When it's time when it's
Hmm.
time to get in my
Well, it's time to
motherfucking
go.
car and drive motherfucking away from that motherfucker until tomorrow or whatever. But Rainey, we've actually exceeded our time.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah, we actually did. Give it up for Life Talk with Rainey, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank y'all for
And
coming through.
and again, make sure you subscribe up. We will put her link in the description. Life Talk with Rainey, Real Vibes with Rainey, Rainey Hot Topics. Life Talk with Rainey on Instagram. Matter of fact, all you have to do is go to my channels, and her channel is tagged on this channel, so I can make it easy
I
for you.
appreciate that.
All you got to do is just click on what I got going on. And matter of fact, her channel is tagged in this here title, so we making it easy for you, and you can pretty much catch her. Mostly anything I got going on, Wolt's trial, as well as just being an everyday almost participant in my panels. But I felt like this here was a great conversation and a great person to have on this show, episode 2 of the Skinnosphere podcast. Episode 3 is scheduled for next Monday, and we will have none other than Jenny Gang on here talking about her experiences as being a exotic dancer and the obstacles that she goes through as far as finding a mate in that line of work instead of a John.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be interesting next week. We're going to figure it out, though. We're going to bring you these here topics because I feel like bringing y'all these topics is not only therapy for me, where I can decompress from some of this crazy African American behavior that I go through every day. And also, it's basically a way to show y'all that I really do care. And I really, really want to have these here debates and dialogues with other people, even if they don't agree with me. Like, hopefully in the future I can reach out to people like Yanni and stuff like that who have totally opposite opinions on what we got going on and still be able to come up here and do it for the culture, as they say, and just have this here I guess you could call it body of work where people could come back and see and be like, oh, okay, well, they did do that. But definitely this here episode wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for y'all, and it definitely wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Life Talk with Rainey. So again, give it up with Life Talk with Rainey. You got anything to say, Rainey, before you get out here? Salute to the Life Talkers who came over here and supported.
Yeah, just thank y'all for watching. Y'all know this is my type of conversation. So I love having these type of conversations and any chance that I get. And so, when it comes to things that will open us up to discuss and bring solutions to the table on how we can just be better people and be better examples, I'm all for it. So I thank y'all for watching.
Shout out to Life Talk with Rainey. Go Getter has put her link as well as her Cash App in the
Go Getter.
the chat. And again, I'd like to say thanks for your time, Rainey.
Well, thanks for having me, Mr. Skinny.
For sure.
Bye, y'all.
Life Talk with Rainey, everybody. Salute to everybody who donated. Let me cut it back on. Let me get y'all respect. Salute to Tish. Is it gonna run it back?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Tesh Aziz donated $5 through Super Chat to piss the haters off. Blessing always. Live life to the fullest.
Appreciate that, Tish. And shout out to A-Train.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
A train donated $5 through Super Chat to piss the haters off. The word strong has ruined black relationships because we think strong is physical or verbal.
I agree. When it's really mental. Salute to all y'all that came through, man, and supported. Make sure you subscribe up to all the channels. And with that being said, man, thanks for y'all time. Time is one thing you can't get back, and you chose to spend it watching this here podcast. Make sure you subscribe up, and we out of here. Yeah.